Graham, one thing I want you to talk about is a lot of people today are saying, oh, rams are becoming dear, and they're wanting to breed a few rams themselves and keep a few of their ram lambs because they look very good because they're shedding nicely and all that sort of stuff. But I just want you to explain, Graham, we've seen it and you've seen it, but certainly for everyone out there, they need to be able to understand that by buying superior quality rams, that you will get to where you want to get to a lot quicker than trying to do it on the cheap or trying to do it on a budget.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The reason for the blue tag within the Breed Society was to combat people that are just keeping ram lambs out of their commercial use. So a blue tag with the AWSBA means that it's out of a stud ewe by a stud ram. So it's got a pedigree, it's got depth of breeding. It's not just out of a commercial ewe that has got other breeds in it that would have been a composite ewe at some stage. And that's very important. It's a little bit like in the horse industry. It's the pedigree is what people are buying their animals on, not just the way it looks. So you can get a ram that looks pretty good out of your commercial ewes, but it will breed to the average of what your commercial lambs are. No different in the merino job. There's not many people keep their own rams. They go out and buy good rams that are well bred and they get the consistency. So.
And we're certainly seeing this within our business that the people that are buying the better quality rams certainly have a superior article at the other end to market, whether that's a ewe and particularly the ewes that we've been marketing that have been part of the Red Tag program, which has been seriously successful to date, Graham, and there's no reason why it's going to go away, but it certainly it's worked very well. But it is clear to see that the people that have been spending the money on their sires in particular, and as well as that having good ewes, but I believe that it's more important that they actually have very good quality sires to put over those ewes to end up with a good article.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We're certainly seeing the people that are doing a good job are getting rewarded on their ewes. The red tag thing was brought in basically to stop people marketing the Tattykill brand when they bought nothing from Tattykill. So it wasn't actually brought in as a marketing ploy. It was brought in as sort of a guarantee of, well, they are actually by Tattykill rams.
And it was to support that the vendors, the purchasers of the sires, that they were actually, and they were putting the money into buying the sires, and they're now getting more than rewarded for the article that they're actually selling, the product, rather than just being shoved in the mix with the rest that weren't really there.
Definitely. Look, we're pretty excited about the fact that the breed's going so strongly, and we always knew that we'd get those that would try and take advantage of that. And we're seeing oftentimes sheep that are coming up on the box where they said that they're Australian whites, but if I look at them, I don't see where the Australian white is in them. So that's why if you're looking for sheep, go for sheep that are by blue tag rams out of the Breed Society, and you'll get more consistency in that product. So I think we just have to, when you're looking at purchasing a ram, you get what you pay for, and to be able to market it on the other end as being by superior genetics, it's certainly paying off, and it's something that the breed's still got a lot of space to grow. The shearing problem is not getting any better; it's probably getting a little worse, and hopefully wool prices hold so that side of it goes well. There's room for wool sheep and shedded sheep in the market. It just gives you a different option, and I still can see that there's plenty of room for this breed to go. We're still getting a lot of interest from many different areas.
Yeah, it's certainly, we're just starting to get to a stage now where we're starting to be able to market some numbers of commercial ewes, which are the bigger operators can then buy a number rather than only being 20 or 30 up at a time, which 20 or 30 up at a time is fine for people to stick their toe in the water, but they're starting to now being able to buy mobs of 200, 300, 400 commercial ewes that some of those that are coming up soon will be red taggers, but then some of those won't be eligible for red tags, but they'll still, with a good ram over them, you'll still produce a good article.
Well, we're also seeing in different areas quite a number coming in and looking at buying really good rams to cross into, in particular, some of the composite ewes, rather than merinos or first cross, but they're using composites that are pretty bare anyway. And buying a really good ram that's well shed and the right breed type, if you buy the right stuff, you'll take a generation out of getting where you want to be. So we're certainly seeing some serious interest on that side, and there are a lot of composite ewes out there.
I had a bloke ring me the other day, Graham, who's got 1,000 composite ewes, and he's just struggling with the income from the composite wool, in that he's not getting enough to cover his shearing costs. So he's actually prepared to put Aussie whites over it, and he said, well, I've got to pay for the shearing for the next 2 or 3 years, and I'm making no money out of it anyway. I'm just prepared to lose money on the shearing for the next couple of years to be able to breed a pure-haired sheep with a couple of crosses. And that's a great example there, is to be able to buy decent quality rams, so you actually get there quicker. That's where that amounts to.
We did a story with Tom Malloy from Ballarat on exactly this. He went out and bought some ewes that were second cross Australian whites from a composite ewe base, and he said he had to cull a few of the ewes out that he may have had to shear because he doesn't have a shearing shed. He took those out, and he's not shearing the rest, and they're only at F2. And the lambs, he said, I won't be shearing any of the lambs. So it's possible to turn your animal pretty quickly if you're buying the right stuff. But if you buy a ram that hasn't got the genetic ability to change that, well, it's just going to take you longer. So,
Graham, part of that's came from those people being able to buy quality rams that have got a strong genetic background, and they've actually been bred from an ET program, so they're coming from the best of the genetics, rather than someone just picking out some rams that look pretty tidy.
Well, that's even the case when it comes to our stud rams. Most of the rams that we sell out of stud rams are out of embryo programs, so they're out of the best, and they'll breed better than the natural paddock mated ones. You can still come up with a ram out there that we've used a few of them ourselves that are very good. But if you're using the best of the best all the time, over and over and over again, they're the ones that are going to breed and leave their stamp on the industry.